Hey guys, it's Harleywood. Here we go with another flashlight. Surprise, surprise. I've done several on the channel over the past couple months, and here's another one so that you can compare against some of the others that I've done and kind of make up your mind what works for you. Today we're looking at the Klarus G20. This thing is 3,000 lumens. It is a searchlight by designation, and it is super bright. I'm going to take it outside in a minute. It is dark out here, and I'm going to show it to you compared to a couple other flashlights. This thing is a beast. Now, it's got a different pattern than some of the other searchlights that I've shown you recently. Let me clear off this table, put a few other searchlights up here, and we'll talk about some of the differences. Okay, so from left to right, the Klarus G20, the Thrunite TN 4A, and the Thrunite Catapult V5. I've done videos on these two already, the two Thrunites. They are designated throwers, though. They throw a very precise beam a very long ways. The most recent one that I reviewed was this guy here, and in that video I showed you that both of these reached out and lit up trees over 235 yards away. It was pretty impressive. This guy here is not as much a thrower. It is more of a huge spread, and I'm going to take these two specifically outside here in a minute and show you. Again, this one is a beast. For all intents and purposes, though, it is just a dedicated spotlight. These two are more searchlights. This one, I deer hunt, and if I shot a deer in the woods at night and had to go track it down, this is probably the one I'm going to take with me because it lights up a huge area very evenly, whereas this guy throws a really, really hard hot spot in the middle. I mean, really super bright hot spot, but the peripheral spread is not quite as great. So if I wanted to see a very wide area, this is the one here. Like I said, it goes up to 3,000 lumens on its turbo mode, and the runtime on that is 45 minutes. The low setting is 15 lumens, and it'll run for 150 hours. Now it also has a strobe mode at the 3,000 lumens, and it has an SOS mode at 160 lumens. Let's go ahead and take these two right here outside real quick, and we're going to show you just how bright this guy is. Alright, you ready for this? Here is the Thrunite TN 4A. You can actually see the beam, how powerful that is. But again, it's a very focused beam. If I raise it up, you can see right here is the bottom of that spread pattern. And if I bring it back down, right there at the top is the top of that spread pattern. So this is a thrower. It'll reach out. There are trees way back there, and I believe I measured those with my rangefinder at 75 or 80 yards, something like that, and you can see it lights them up really well. Let's take a look at the Klarus G20. Huge difference. Can you see the difference? Alright, right here is the bottom of the spread. I'm not sure how well that shows up. And as I bring it down, right here is the top of that spread. Now, here is both side by side. Again, this is the Thrunite TN 4A. This is the Klarus G20. It is hugely bright in that spread. 3,000 lumens. There's the Thrunite. Let's see if we get this camera to focus. There's the Thrunite TN 4A. That tree back there is probably only 40 or 50 yards away. There's the Klarus G20. Again, if I was tracking a deer in the woods, this is going to show me everything. Okay, one more. This is the Thrunite TN 4A. Those trees right there are probably 50 yards away, and you can see just a pronounced hot spot, but other than that hot spot down there is probably 15 feet tall. Let's see what the Klarus does. It lights up everything. This thing is a monster. So we already discussed the lumen level. Now let's talk about some of the other features. First, it does come with a very nice sheath for your belt. This light has a Cree XHP70 N4 LED with a 50,000 hour life. You're never going to burn this thing out. It comes with a charging cable, and it comes with a charging cable because it is direct access charging capable. Plug it in right there and you are good to go. Let's look at the batteries. This is where it gets a little different. It does not use 18650s, it does not use CR123s, this uses 26650s, and that is where you get your power. Now, this is not a very standard battery that a lot of lights are using right now. However, I am seeing more and more of them come onto the market. As these light manufacturers continue to compete, they are pushing the envelope and they are requiring more and more power, obviously. This one does get a little warm if you leave it on. It's not horrible. I mean, it's not going to burn your hand or anything, but it definitely puts off some heat. You're not going to get 3,000 lumens without a little bit of heat. This light is also IPX8 up to 2 meters water resistant and impact resistant up to 1 meter. Pretty standard there. It comes with a lanyard and some additional O-rings. Pretty standard there. But the real reason that this shines, I already showed you, is just how bright this is as a searchlight. So the Klarus switch is a little bit different than some of the other switches that I'm used to. It's a little bit different than Olight, and it's a little bit different than Thrunite. On the Klarus, you push once for the light to come on, you push again and it cycles through the modes. It does not turn off. To turn off, you hold the switch in and it goes off. So on most of my other lights, it's a little bit different. You push once to turn on, and then you hold the buttons to cycle through the modes. Here's the TN4A for comparison. Push once to turn it on, push once to turn it off. When it's on, if you hold it, it cycles through the modes. This one, push once to turn on, and you have to click to cycle through the modes, and then hold it to turn off. Just a little bit different, not a huge deal, it just depends on what you're used to. Now, when you're on in any mode, double click to go into strobe, double click again to go into SOS mode. Now, as if all those features weren't enough, one more surprise. It has a tail cap pressure switch. So the same functionality that you get with the side switch can be had with the tail cap here. I know a lot of people who love to run their lights and use a tail cap. I tend to be one of them. My EDC light, I will not carry an EDC light typically that does not have a tail cap. I say that, but I'm actually been carrying one and testing one lately that doesn't have a tail cap, and we'll go over that in the review. However, that is a very nice feature of this light, so you can hold it and use it via the tail cap. Last but not least, the price. This light is $100 roughly. You can find it for about 98 different places. That's about twice the price of the Thrunite TN4A. However, it is 3 times the brightness level. That battery is probably 3 times as expensive as, you know, the AAAs, or excuse me, the AA's that the TN4A runs off of. It's probably more than 3 times. So I know $100 sounds like a lot for a flashlight, but keep in mind what you're getting. You're getting 3 times the power of most of the popular searchlights that are on the market right now. So in my opinion, this was a well worth it purchase. It is probably going to be one of my primary flashlights for hunting. Like I said, if I need to go trudging through the woods in the middle of the night, this is the guy that I want with me. That's it, guys. The Klarus G20 coming in at 3,000 lumens. This thing is a monster. It is probably right now in my top 2 or 3 favorite flashlights. So go check it out. I'm going to post a link in the description below where you can buy this. If you liked this review, please hit that like button, hit subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we will see you on the next one.